Hello, waiting for some others to join for 2 more minutes and we go live. Can anyone confirm if is audio okay? Let me fix one moment. I think it's okay now, and if anyone else is about to join, I'll check chat and I'll answer the questions you all have. So, starting with Bitcoin, as always, on macro perspective, nothing has changed. It's just a range bound between the key resistance and key support zones, which I have shown the last stream. As I've said, this last green candle here before the big capitulation is the key zone, in my opinion, on macro to be broken to maintain the bullish structure. So this is key resistance area. Also, I'm gonna mark out the key support zone, which is this zone here. The previous range high that we broke out, and let me check again audio. Is now better? Chat? Okay, my mic was a little too far, so that was the problem. I think it's okay now to continue. Okay, let's continue with Bitcoin macro perspective. So, as I was talking on macro, nothing has changed for me. No bull market, no bear market. It's just trading range bound. This is key zone in my opinion. Until 32.4k is broken, no bullish structure above 32.4k. First target is 37.5. Second target is potentially 43k and those highs at 52k. But yet this has to be broken. We are into the resistance, macro resistance area on weekly. Also, it's working the same as resistance on 3-day and daily. This one is tough to be broken, but We have support here, the previous range high, which was also the resistance zone of the inverse big inverse head and shoulders, broke up directly into the resistance area, correction, forming a bull flag like this into the support zone, and perfect bounce from the retest, 21% move on Bitcoin. For me, is key and simple for swing trades and for macro perspective. Above this zone here, target 1 as I said, target 2 here, and target 3, probably this zone here, 42k, which I said. It's equal highs, full of liquidity, but that has to be, this one has to be broken. Also, bearish, I can't call bear market as or bearish structure until this key support zone is broken. Under this one, we enter just into the previous macro range which we accumulated before the next leg move up. So, in my opinion, on weekly, this is the key range low. Let's see if it's confluent. Okay, this is key range low, key range high. Let me mark this one on black, and mid range is this zone here, this blue zone. These are my key areas on macro. Let me just 1 second. Okay, I'm back. Good. So, as I said, on macro, this was the range that we accumulated before the breakout. Here we have the range high, mid-range, and the range low. So, in my opinion, if we get acceptance under the range high, under the 24.3, 24 key zone, my first target is this zone here, 21. Let me mark the prices, 21.5, eventually 20, 21k, 21.2. And under this zone, closed under here, this target here. But this is my key zone also on daily, where I'm looking forward to bid on it if we get it on the next 3 to 6 months. Why this is my key zone is because of this. Key resistance area, key resistance area, breakout with big green candle from mid, false move to the range high, rejected, retest, rejection. We went under the mid range on macro, deviated and never retested it here to get the liquidity and fuel the price for a bigger move up. So a retest of this deviation here, potentially here, is gonna be the zone where I'm gonna bid maybe the biggest for a move toward the range high or even here. Note that this zone here is probable only if we get acceptance under the 24k. As long as we hold above here is this range here. Break out of this here, as I said, target 1, target 2, and target 3. Simple on macro perspective for Bitcoin. Ethereum macro, key zone. Okay, let me clean the chart. So for Ethereum on macro perspective, in my opinion, this is key zone to be broken. Range high, here we have range low, and mid range is around this zone here. I'm gonna mark this on. I don't find mid ranges with Fibonacci fibs. I like to find them where price respects the zone. So in my opinion, this is mid range because price has respected this as support area. Deviation, if we look at the lower time frames, we can see I think that we could have had a bearish retest here and down until the range low. Deviation here, also on Ethereum, this is my key zone to bid, but I have lower zones because that I think that if we're gonna have on the next 3 to 6 months any recession on the stock market or any economic crisis, I think that there will be life-changing opportunities to buy, and my key my how to say it my key zones to bid the most on the Ethereum are these zones here. I'm gonna show you why. Let me check the chart. Okay, this is my liquidity chart for lower time frames, and for higher time frames is this. These three zones, okay, four zones are key zones. I'm gonna make them on yellow to be more clean. Are my key zones to bid on Ethereum. And why? Because these zones are full of liquidity and full of equal lows. Market plays in a way that doesn't let people to win. So if we want to see a bull market on Ethereum and want to see price having bullish structure and maintain bullish structure, I think that Ethereum has to clear those lows here, those equal lows here. They are full of liquidity. Also those lows here and those lows here, which are key in correlation with the range low on macro time frame. So mark these prices, especially those two prices on your charts. If Ethereum ever comes here into these prices, it's a pretty good opportunity to buy, but never rush to buy Ethereum on for holding long-term holding without checking out the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. I'm gonna cover this chart later after finishing the short-term ideas on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So macro, this is the zone. Also, what I want you to put on your charts and keep observing it is one, as I say, white cocaine trend line is this one here, which I talked about it the time that we were here, that this one here is the line that crypto market depends on it. If Ethereum gets a breakdown of here, for me it's also correlative with the close under this previous range high of this range that we accumulated, retested and sent us to the highs. If Ethereum breaks down of this zone here, in my opinion, is gonna be a short towards target 1 here, target 2 with these lows, target 3 here, and potentially have a move back towards the equal lows I talked about. But this zone is gonna be gonna is gonna give us blood on Ethereum and on altcoins if it gets broken. So this is for Ethereum on macro. If we get close above the blue zone. I think that first target is this zone here, the zone of 2500, 2550, but always if we get close above the $2040. As long as we are under this, there is no reason why Ethereum can't come towards 1500, even at the range quarter. We can have it this one as range quarter, 1300, or even potentially range lows. Is it clear on higher time frame what I'm expecting? Okay, let's continue on short-term trade ideas. Also on short-term, same zones as for the long-term, key support and resistance areas. Short-term resistance area, I'm gonna mark off the level, key level that I'm looking at is this one here. I'm gonna tell you now why I'm looking here. Also, this one. Let me make it like this. Okay, here. Look at where we rejected. Beautiful. So, ranges. Break out of here, 31.9, 32.5k. First target here. This zone here, and potentially this key support area that was previous red distribution zone where we consolidated before the leg down, the big leg down. Also redistribution, leg down again. This one is key area to be broken. Above this here, first target 17%. And it's easier, in my opinion, to trade Bitcoin nowadays for long exposure or for spot exposure because of its dominance. I'm gonna explain the Bitcoin dominance after explaining the Bitcoin and Ethereum short-term ideas. So this is key zone, in my opinion, to be broken for a giga candle bullish. This zone here, okay, let me make it like this. Just to be accurate. So this is key resistance area, but I'm also marking out this level here, acting as key resistance area. So for me, I'm gonna remove this one here and gonna leave it like this. If we get acceptance above here, first target is here, and second target this one. This is for short-term trade. If we get acceptance under, let me check it on daily, under this red zone here, then first target is the previous range high. I'm gonna make it on blue. Second target is the zone where we played out before the next move. I'm gonna make it on purple just to be cleaner. On the 4-hour chart is the same deviation back under bearish retest down, bearish retest down, bearish retest down. I shorted today this here and still holding it, stops at break even. My first target is here and the second target are these lows here. But I wouldn't be surprised if we go towards the quarterly open, which is relevant with the previous mid-range around 28, sorry, 28.6, 28.5. I don't know exactly where that is, but leaving that, I'm gonna trade the pure price action. Nothing is complicated here. Above the black zone, target one here. As long as we are under this zone, I'm expecting to come towards the red one. Under the red one, under these lows here, let's make it bigger zone to be more correct. Under the key resistance here, more downside and more downside if we get under it. Like this. It's clean. Also, I'm seeing some charts on the Twitter feed and everywhere for the bullish pennant pattern on Bitcoin looking at like this. But let me tell you one thing. On my career as a trader, I have seen many times that pennants patterns are the one of the most patterns that can trap. It can easily break out of here, but not the key resistance zone and make it a move like this. Trap the fake out, trap the lungs, and go down. So, in the case where we have a triangle pattern and pennant or whatever you call it, in the case where we have like that patterns, you're gonna have to see the key resistance areas, which is this one right now, because it means that if it's not going to break out of the key horizontal resistance area, that means that the whole move is gonna be a fake out. So do not rush to go into longs just because the diagonal trend line is broken. Check out also on horizontals because on trading horizontal support and resistance zones are always stronger than the diagonal ones. Sorry for my English once again if it's not understandable. So it's clean. Above black zone target, under the red zone target, ranges to be played. Simple on Bitcoin. Let's check out on Ethereum what do we have. I'm also looking for a possibility on Bitcoin here, playing an inverse head and shoulders. Something like this. If we get a breakout of here to make the right shoulder. Let's see if it plays out, but it's a probability to attack those highs here. Ethereum short-term trades. Let's go from a daily clean price action. It couldn't get more cleaner, I think, for Ethereum. Previous range high where we accumulated before the leg up, acting as support zone, deviated and retested here. Um, and this here is the key resistance area that I've been talking about. Here, yesterday, the day ahead, I'm sorry, was the take profit zone because it was confluent with the Monday's high, and I took profit there. After that, we got the rejection towards the key support. It's ping pong, it's easy. Play ping pong on this range until it's broken. Under here, target 1 and potentially break the white trend line, target here. Or break out of here, target 1 those highs, and target 2 is the previous range that we had distribution before the next leg down. Also, Ethereum is potentially here playing an inverse head and shoulders. The breakout would be massive, potentially sending us towards here. But it's confirmed only if we break out of this zone. This green zone, which has been acting as resistance for a long time now, and the more it gets attacked, the weaker it becomes. The moment it will break out, I doubt that there will be any retest, and and you can long the retest, but never rush. It's better to lose opportunities rather than to lose money. Never rush into the trade without confirmation. Wait for the retest, even on lower time frames. That's my motto. That doesn't let me rush into trades and lose money. So also on Ethereum is clean. There is just ranges, range bound, ping pong play until it's otherwise. Liquidity chart. Let me check this one here. There are two key zones that I'm looking at. Look how beautiful it played out yesterday here. I didn't call the long, wasn't at the charts. I got the alert, but I was late. These two key zones are what I'm looking at. These four prices for liquidity. Equal highs and equal lows. What can price do on the potential on the weekend? Attack those highs here and come towards the lows, or the opposite scenario, rejected, come take the lows, maybe not take out those, but only those equal lows, reclaim here, and full send turbo towards the equal highs. These four prices are the key prices where I think that price has to react, bullish or bearish, it depends on the way that it attacks. And this one here is on the macro key liquidity zone. These high here's are too clean to be left there. Same as those lows here. Too clean to be left here. 24.8 is a price that you should mark on your charts if we get there. Ethereum, I talked about this 1935. Price dumped 4% from it. It was previous equal highs with this wick here. Highs weren't taken cleanly. We attacked those here and dumped. These four prices below are the key prices on short term, as I said, for liquidity, and the prices that I mentioned are the other prices for macro perspective. Bitcoin dominance, as I've been saying, it's still Bitcoin season. There is no all season. There won't be an all season until this one starts to show weakness or starts to cool off. It has still room to grow on macro. I'm not ruling out the possibility of breakout of here too on Bitcoin dominance. There are some reasons why I'm being very cautious on altcoins and why I'm being very focused on the Bitcoin dominant chart. First is ETF, those ETF news that are bullish for Bitcoin but are not much bullish for altcoins, because those big companies that are giving us bullish news with big market cap and big market cap and the money flowing into them, those are bullish for Bitcoin and the money will flow into Bitcoin, but not into altcoins until they take profit from Bitcoin and the money flows into altcoins. So if we look at this previous zone here, look at it, it has 980 days of distribution before the breakdown. And after the breakdown, we had around 25% dump. Now, it's the same thing here for me. It's just not distribution, but it's accumulation. So a breakout of here, I think that won't lead to a small pump on Bitcoin dominance, but will lead it into a big rally of Bitcoin dominance and could potentially send us towards a 62% value, because this one is big accumulation. It's not something small to be left out. It has to be observed. Correlating it with Ethereum Bitcoin pair, which on higher time frames looks to like it's going toward. So this is range high, this is range low on macro perspective, and this is the key zone that if Ethereum Bitcoin pair comes, it's gonna be pretty good buying opportunity on ETH and ETH is gonna gain strength. So this one here is range uh, macro range high. This zone here is macro range low. This one here was a previous macro mid-range. We closed under it, bearish retested twice, and this here looks like a double top to me. On weekly, this one looks like a double top. Also on the monthly, this one here doesn't look good. It's pretty weak. And I think, in my opinion, it's gonna come towards those lows here, potentially those lows. But everything with confirmations, we don't like to give predictions. So on the last stream, as I said, we were under the short term, how do I call it, microstructure, under the microstructure range low. We closed the underhit. I said that potentially there will be a small pump on altcoins, Bitcoin dominance cooling off, and ETH BTC gaining the strength just to make the bearish retest here. As we had the bearish retest, hard rejection, bearish engulfing candle, and we are now down 2% on it. As long as we are under this daily range low, my first target is 581 zone, or potentially the macro range low or this order block here. So this zone here is gonna be key for Ethereum and altcoins to gain strength. Also, Bitcoin dominance to pump even higher. Under this zone here, Bitcoin dominance has still a room left to go up, and Ethereum Bitcoin has still a room to go down. So I'm not gonna play out these altcoins until BTC comes towards here or reclaims this zone. If BTC is gonna reclaim this zone here, and as I said on the last stream, it's gonna make out an let me make it like this to be cleaner. this is my main scenario on BTC if we get acceptance above this zone here. Invalidation is closed back under, and closing back under it just gives strength to the bearish bias of BTC going even lower. Dollar, nothing big, nothing less. Okay, I'm gonna clean up the chart and gonna show you why I'm still, I wouldn't say bullish, I wouldn't say bearish on dollar. It has strength and it looks like it wants to go higher, but as I said, we go only with confirmations. Gonna mark out the uh, macro range. Here is the range low macro. Here is the range high. Let's make it on black. Mid range comes here. So we are now currently at the mid range. I'm gonna mark out also a trend line, which is very important in my opinion to watch if we get a breakout of it. So while I was thinking on dollar was a chart, I don't know if I have that pattern on any PDF. It's called Adam and Eve pattern, double bottom Adam and Eve pattern, which would have been confirmed if we get above here, but there were some pullbacks that made that pattern not valid. But it's still valid that the breakout of here for dollar would be pretty bullish, and it's dollar time. Also, I'm gonna mark out this wick here, making it on white, which is also a big resistance area in my opinion, because it was the wick that led dollar towards the highs. So also for dollar, for me is clean. This is quarterly range quarterly. So it's simple. Break out of here. I think that if it break out and fixes above the mid range, this red zone is gonna come towards this range here and gonna break out of this trend line. Okay, let me make this on green or purple. It's gonna send us towards the purple zone, breaking out of the white trend line, and even I think that this gets broken, it's gonna send us towards the range high. As long as we are under this red zone, this is support zone, resistance. Under this is the range here, and under the range lows, I think that dollar can come towards this green zone here. Nothing more, nothing less. Also on dollar, it's just a range play, nothing complicated. If we get fixed above the red zone, I think that the white trend line is going to be broken and we're going to target the purple one as the first target and the range high as the second target, which is going to be the key resistance area. Is audio okay now? I'm going to repeat what I said on dollar. It's easy. The two black zones are key range high and range low on the macro. It's the OBS. YouTube connected to the OBS. It's full. I looked at it, it was full. The audio. I'm just keeping my microphone near so I think I can be heard better. I'm gonna repeat what I said on dollar. It's simple, it's range high and the range low on the macro on the two black zones. We are playing range on under it. This red one zone is the mid range. If we get acceptance above the red one, first target and the second target. If we if we get rejected here, dollar can correct towards the first zone, green zone. Black zone is the second, and if we get acceptance under the black zone, it's gonna be pretty bearish for dollar, and it's gonna target the previous range that we accumulated before the breakout and the big move up. For as far as I'm concerned, dollar is showing strength, and probably the next days, I don't know, I haven't looked at the macroeconomic news. If we get any bullish news, I think that it's gonna make dollar break out here, and these are the ranges that I'm looking to play out on it here. As I said, above the range high, it's dollar time. Above here, 100. Let me mark the prices. Total, total market cap into the high time frame pre-range high, the range where we deviated, bearish retested and down, deviation, bullish retest up, now getting rejected for the third time on 3-day time frame. I wouldn't be bullish here until this one gets broken out, and we can probably go towards this zone here. Even break out of here and target the here. These are two targets if we get a breakout above here. As long as we are under the resistance, consolidating under, I think that the retest of this zone here on daily time frame is more cleaner. It makes more sense. Or even the macro mid range, which is the red zone. Total 2 above the macro mid range, bounced from the range quarter. I'm moving out this one here. As long as we stay above the red zone, my first target is here, second target is blue one, and the third target is the black one. If we get acceptance under the red one once again, this one is deviation or fake out until it's back above and invalidate the fake out or the deviation. It makes barrier structure with the first target here and the second target the range lows. As strong as Bitcoin dominance is, I wouldn't be surprised that if we get a deviation here, we go straight downwards towards the range lows and not even react at the quarterly range where we previously bounced. Total 3, nothing more, nothing less than a range. range high, mid range, and range low. This one here is key resistance area where we are getting rejected. Above here, target above here, first target here, second target. As long as we are under this zone here, first target is this one, second is this one, and if we get close under the range lows, I think that total 3 has no significant support until the 200 billion market cap support. This zone here is full of inefficiency to be filled. So this is it. This is the key. What I'm thinking for market, what's gonna play out on the next days, next weeks. One reminder to show you all that everything shared on this video, everything said on this video is not financial advice. It's just my thoughts of how market is gonna play out, not financial advice. Do your own research, study, learn, keep learning, and you will understand things better. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I thank you and advance for the support. So, Zapax, how important are those total charts without the Bitcoin and Ethereum? Well, sometimes when the short term but also the macro perspective is not giving you cleaner views on Ethereum or on Bitcoin, we gotta know that the Bitcoin is the king, and after him, almost the whole market goes. But if we don't get, if we don't have a clean view on how Bitcoin and what Bitcoin is about to move, I use total and total 2, total 3. Total 3 I use more for altcoins by zones to see where is the support, where can the altcoin market cap bounce. But total and total 2 I check them to see on macro perspective cleaner view if I don't have a clean one on Ethereum or Bitcoin. That's why I mostly use them, not for short-term trades. Any other questions? Thank you for the support in advance. Once again, not financial advice, just my thoughts of how market is going. I don't want to be the guy that if anything goes wrong to be blamed. Do your own research. These are just my thoughts. This is it. Thank you for watching. Have a good night and trade safe. Good night.